here is to discuss the future role of the agency in programmatic advertising. And as you, Jennifer, have developed or shaped the code of conduct, I wanted to know from you, asked to tell the audience, why is there a need for a code of conduct, and what do agencies have to do to be certified?
The process of the code of conduct was actually a very painful, long one. I don't know if Ivania is still here, but I think we spent some painful 6 hours in one of their conference rooms with 40 people, all from the industry in Germany, really names you would know, companies you would know. What we had found was that there was no trust in the industry, there was no trust in programmatic, there was no trust in quality, and there were common issues that were happening all the time. And we defined and shaped rules around them, what each and every one of the people that were later asked to sign would commit to in order to solve those issues. And the four groups that we found that could actually do something about it were publishers, SSPs, DSPs, and data providers. And we determined that agencies couldn't necessarily commit to doing something in that process, but that they could actually commit to working properly, especially with those partners that signed the COC. So we then started working on an agency certificate that would allow them to also be participating and pledging to stick to quality. That means that agencies can still sign up for a certificate for the first round within the next weeks, and I think it's closing next week, the week after. It's a very lengthy process. What we've developed is we're asking them to give us an idea of their spend and their employee numbers that are actually in programmatic. So how much of their resources are they really putting towards the topic? And the reasoning behind that is that everybody that worked in this certificate creation, just found a lot of agencies that had done search before, so they were familiar with Google, that had done Facebook before, so they were familiar with social programmatic, so to speak. But not all of them were sticking to quality topics. And we've also seen a lot of display agencies that had a very weird approach to it in our minds. So we have identified and then really defined areas where we wanted answers. We wanted to know if they're working on buying, optimization, or are they just consulting. And so there's two types of certificate: strategic, which can be a consulting approach, and operative. And you can get certified for both of them. So to get back to the topic of today, really an agency in the future that works programmatically should be easily able to pass that certificate because they're already committed to it and they already have the resources to do it and have done cases.
Thank you very much. And Rupert, you as a reseller of Google technology, I always like saying you have one of the best jobs in the world because you just have to wait until Google says this is another advertiser that is worthy of the stack, and you just have to wait until the phone rings with people asking, can we use your technology? Is that pretty much
Well, it's like, I think, independent from how we take this discussion. I think there's a debate going on. Consultancies are moving into business. Media agencies are dead. I think you should never see it as black and white. I think everybody sort of has to want to use. What we are observing is that advertisers want to take more control, but that doesn't mean to say that they're actually part of the agencies. So, and technology, from whichever company it comes, can actually be quite creative because it's like technology. What does it do? It weighs and measures, and it gives you data. So you can actually, as an advertiser, own the technology, but you can still have agencies working within your stack. And we're definitely realizing a trend like that taking place at the moment. It comes from the advertisers, but then it doesn't come out of the marketing departments. It comes more from what we call the chief digital officers who look beyond marketing, but they look at everything within an organization. So that is something we are realizing, we're seeing, and also we're servicing.
Thank you. Alex, when you look at the clients that you serve for a travel audience, what kind of expectations do they have with the travel audience, and what do they want out of programmatic advertising?
clients that we're working with are already involved in programmatic. So we're only focusing on travel clients. The last couple of years, I think a lot of them have been working with different media agencies, a lot of them are trying to do in-house work, and we were using PQ&A, the Google stack. But they do come to us because we have one thing that we focus on, which is how do we solve specific problems that they have, very specific to the travel domain. So they come to us because of the travel expertise that they cannot get with working with a traditional media agency. Media agencies are very good at handling, let's say, the media campaigns, coming up with media plans and so on. But if you are confronted with the problem of how do I target all the people that are interested in traveling to the US from Germany in the next 2 weeks, nobody can answer that question. And so this is why we focused on building our data sources, our platform, and everything tailored to this thing. And this is why we think if you have a very specific ability to solve problems for a particular domain or a particular customer segment, then you have a position that can be complementary to the media agency model, or even complementary to the in-house activities that a lot of companies are working on.
And Christian, how does it work from your side? What do clients expect of programmatic advertising, or what do they expect from you?
So, well, generally, what we try to do for customers is help them grow, no matter at what stage they are currently. And I think Marcus has already shown it nicely. It's always like get the right message at the right time to the right user and make it measurable. So we think that it's necessary to serve, in order to serve different advertisers, it's necessary to combine different approaches. So it's the creation part, it's the media buying part, it's the technology part, the measurement part. And so that's why we take the holistic approach and use that in order to help different clients with their different needs at different times, and also help them to go to the next stage where also their needs change.
And how much part is programmatic out of the creation that you do?
That really depends on the client, so it's very different. Generally, there's no general answer to it, honestly. So most clients that do, we have clients that do a lot of TV, classical TV, and then the programmatic part is very little. But if you talk about like promoting apps, programmatic is usually like has a higher part, or there's no TV at all. So it really depends on the client's needs.
Okay, thank you. Rupert, back to you. I think for this next where do you see the future of the agency when it comes to developing their own technology?
I think they don't necessarily need to develop their own technology. A lot of them do, and I think we know that supplier as well from the past. It's always, I think agencies or any sort of like members of this value chain have to decide what they're really good at, and they should decide if they're really good at strategy and media buying, etc. Do they necessarily need to develop their own technology? Because it's like actually developing technology. It's not romantic, it's not charming, it actually costs a lot of money. And once you've actually started doing or going down this route, you never stop, because it's like, a lot of your customers run on it, you can't stop it. So in the end, you have to decide for yourself where you go. But I think agencies as a whole have to become more technology savvy. It's like you can never say none of the agencies are technology savvy. You have some agencies that know it really well, but you have some agencies that don't know it at all. We see that by the questions we have, because it's like we also have agencies as customers. I think they really have to invest in good expertise in order to actually operate the systems. But the future of the agency, difficult to say. It's like at the moment we're seeing a lot of consultancy company buying agencies, but not media agencies. So far they have not bought a media agency. They've basically bought sort of like front-end and back-end or mid-end agencies, but not a media agency yet. But then again, big media agency groups can also buy consultancy companies. I think that's something we've never looked at, because it's like you look at WPP, one of the most cash-rich companies in the world. So they can buy an Accenture if they wanted to. So I think we see
Interesting, really interesting line.
Would you elaborate on that?
No, I don't see WPP buying Accenture.
I don't see that as well.
My whole world.
I think that's not our client, isn't it? What kind of
synergies-
signal would you send to the market if WPP said, let's buy one of these big strategic companies? They would have to admit that they were risky.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about this offline. I don't see it. But the other way around, right? I mean, as you said, Accenture is getting much more into the digital space. PricewaterhouseCoopers has a digital arm. You have IBM that's going into the media space. Everyone is interested in programmatic. Everyone thinks that they know what they're doing. And it's actually not so simple. I mean, a lot of people think I'm going to get some, so I would say, Google Stack and get a VP and plug in some data and then voila, everything looks perfectly fine. I have to admit, I thought the same thing. And now we realize with the presentation of first auction, second auction, we have conduct, we have GDPR that's coming in the next couple of months. It's not such a simple thing. So the agencies are in a tough position because the agencies have to rethink their business model, in essence, of how the customers and also our clients, they want much more transparency, they want much more control. A lot of them are building a lot of expertise in-house. Which we also see in the talent wars of recruiting. I think that agencies have to probably reposition themselves and go away from their high margins, nice kind of lifestyle that they had over the last 20 years and come a bit more back down to reality. And if you look at WPP, there was an earnings call 2 weeks ago. They had zero growth compared to last year. And that's a pretty hard earnings call.
So what do you think is the value creation? Or let's see, in the next 5 years, what will be the agency's vision?
I can jump in.
Please.
Talking about it from a word idea, what is an agent? What is an agency doing? You tell them to take care of a problem that you have or an issue that you have, a topic you have, and they take care of it. So what can they bring to the table other than their buying expertise, to put it in nice words? I'm not finger point at other mechanics. I think it's really what Rupert mentioned. You can have a tech stack, but the interesting thing is to actually orchestrate a tech stack of several technologies of the same kind and leverage their advantages to the best of the client's interest, and then also to employ, and I'm hoping I'm not going to insult you, to employ agents like you and you that have specific ideas about specific problems, but I would think that what we've seen, for example, isn't an entire campaign, but it is part of what someone is doing, part of a marketing strategy. So I think that's what agencies should focus on, to understand tech, to be able to select tech, and to hire people or train them to work with these technologies and be able to really distinguish the approach that works best, and not anymore just to distinguish which publishers do I want to use to get this message.
So, to all of you, where do you think that data and the use of data fits in?
So I think it depends who owns the data. I mean, that is very important.
But generally for buying,
to use it.
yeah, for buying, generally you need data in order to make right decisions, right? As simple as that. So you can have nice creatives, but if you show the wrong people, it's a simple message, then they can be as nice as it gets. So I think data is the key, and it's also the key to programmatic in general, because programmatic was very successful at the beginning because you had all this cheap access to inventory, and people used that to buy very cheap impressions, and then suddenly everyone did that, and you had all the fraud coming in and all the stuff. So suddenly things were not as cheap anymore, or the stuff that was still cheap and that was like kind of misleading suddenly didn't perform anymore. So, you know, for me, like the future of programmatic is with data, so you make the right decision and you actually increase the quality, and you go for what is nice in programmatic. You combine it with CRM stuff, for example, and targeting the audience data, and use that to actually access the quality in the programmatic inventory, and you rule out all the rest.
Maybe I think it's not just having access to data. Right? Everyone has access to data.
You can use it.
Yeah, I mean, you can get the bid stream, everyone can have access to the bid stream. Right? But what is relevant to the problem set that you're trying to solve for your clients? And we have access, we're trying to get access to data that nobody else has access to. And that's why we're part of the Amadeus group. This is one way that we are trying to build a sustainable advantage. But down the road, at some point, everyone will probably have access to it. So that's not just having access exclusively now. It means that in 5 years from now, not everyone else will have access to it. But figuring out how to use it in that particular context to solve a particular problem, I think that's really where the biggest challenge is.
think it's not enough to just use data for one campaign or use it for one moment. I think one of your guys showed a presentation at the last meetup where he actually mentioned what to do with data after the campaign finishes.
Yes.
And I think that's an important part, and not everyone is doing that right now. And that's where the agency is stepping in, actually reminding clients to do that, forcing clients to implement the kind of pixels we need, forcing them to really go a long way with them, and not just going out there and selling single campaigns, but really going out there and selling sustainable solutions to their marketing problems.
I think it's not campaigns or something, it's actually solutions we offer.
The thing about data, I think it's also like CRM data. I think that's sort of like one of the buzzwords of this year. It's like, but to actually integrate or get the real CRM data, most of the time the systems are not compatible. You know, so I think we're seeing some big things. It's like I think Adobe is hooked up with some big company. Google is now hooked up with Salesforce. Actually to bring real CRM data together and in order to use it in your marketing. So I think because like if you're a car seller, I mean you're looking at a customer in his lifespan of about, or buying lifespan of about 60 years, you know, so they want to have that data all the time. And so data is not just short term, like we used to do, it's a long term thing. And I think the data is strongly with the advertising.
So the agency will also, the data will not have, but the agencies will not be able to say the data is a unique selling point.
Well, data is a unique selling point. We know that a lot of agencies, big ones, actually have a lot of data, but how they get it is always...
And they need to be smart about it, because if they keep using data of everyone for all the campaigns, advertisers are going to start asking questions, and they're going to start realizing that their campaign, their marketing money is actually paying for a data house within the agency, and they're not going to like it. And they will start auditing it, and they will start putting boundaries on it and whatnot, and I think an agency that gets caught by an advertiser in the wrong way will lose that client immediately. Many more if it gets out, yeah.
So we're seeing that also, it's like not agencies but other sort of like service providers in remarketing. I mean, it's like we see what they're doing with data, you know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. But also it's like with the agencies and the consulting companies, it's like the consulting companies have one distinct advantage to the media agencies, because it's like they actually dock on the client side at a completely different level than the agency. So the future could actually be that the agencies are not working for the advertiser anymore, but that the agencies actually work for the consultant, because it's like a BCG or a PVC or whatever they call it, they can't do everything. You know, and I don't think they want to do media strategy. So there could be new kind of relationships for where agencies, based on their expertise, because they're not all that. You know, they still have a right to exist. It's like we've started this programmatic business at a very early day, and it's like I remember the debates we used to have in the past as well. But strategy and sort of like traditional media planning is extremely important as well in programmatic. You know,
so I rather hope it goes the other way around. So basically, BCG goes out and the agency takes over that. Defending the good agencies here, not defending the other ones.
Because basically all these consultants are hiring single people with single knowledge infected by single sales pitches. So we have that thing saying someone is an expert idiot in Germany. I don't know what the English expression would be. So the danger that agencies need to recognize is that every consultant out there, whether it's a consulting company, one of the big ones, or a single consultant, will have one knowledge. And if they manage to find an advertiser, client at the agency that is willing to listen to that opinion versus their own, they're in danger, because that consultant is very likely to suggest other solutions. So they should be ready for that. They should have solutions for everything. They should be knowledgeable in all areas, not closing up in single ones, not siloing knowledge in their companies. They really must train the people so that they remain the experts forever. Or whatever they're pitching.
I think mastering technology plays a major role, because it's like with technology, you can actually create a digital round table. You know, you can actually bring several parties that actually, in terms of business model, sort of like have a conflict, but you can bring them together. And I think that's, I think agencies need to really embrace technology much more. It's like...
The certificate definitely asks agencies how many DSPs they've worked with or consulted with. So the lower the number of DSPs you've worked with in the past, the more negative it is for your overall score in the certificate. So we reached the conclusion that just knowing one tech stack does not mean you're truly programmatic agency.
So you can, within 5 seconds, you can actually check whether somebody knows it or not. We have that because it's like, I mean, DBM is one of the tools that everybody wants, and I think they get the tool and instantly start. And we actually test before we actually give it to them.
What's the test like?
We actually ask them questions similar to the questions you asked in your code of conduct, and then we actually say, okay, we recommend this in this way, and because we've seen so many mistakes on the DSPs, that you do a wrong setting, all of a sudden you spend thousands, and you didn't even know about it.
I'd be happy about that. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Not if the client drops out because of this.
Oh yeah, well if they don't pay the bill, that's bad.
Heiko, your question.
What do you think about agencies like Group M, for example, developing their own IDs, with their unique IDs, where they try to gather data and then start buying on that data, those IDs?
I would just say it's like GDPR and e-privacy will make it more difficult for them because it's like, where does the data come from? So I think that's great thing. It's like we notice it's like.
But this is not only for them, but for all of us.
But we know that some agencies have done this.
Yeah.
So best cooking tools for all of the agencies.
Well, the thing is, from an agency perspective, it makes sense because if they have a meta ID that's independent of the underlying platform that they're using, it makes it easier for them to be platform agnostic. Right?
That's true.
If they're able to sustain that, and if they're able to pull it off, then good for them. But it also depends on not only the identifier itself, but what data do they have that's supposed to.
This is now also getting into the technology part again.
Yeah.
But I think in principle, I mean, if they have the data, and let's assume they got them rightfully, right? This is very important, of course, and there's a lot of shady stuff going on that I don't like in that industry. But if they got the data rightfully and they have the right to use it, why shouldn't they use it for technology? Basically, it's what we are doing as well, right? We think like we should do this in-house because it gives us a unique approach to develop new ideas and not rely on the standard ideas out in the market. So I assume big agencies should do the same. They want to keep up with us.
Do you agree?
Well, I think they have to do something. They have to develop IDs or some meta even level to, well, develop their own consultancy and their own technology in that case. So because I see also the Accenture or SAP as a second, so they're all coming and they're all going into the market and they all have data and they all have the level of consultancy, and in the end it's a measure of technology and consultancy.
But don't forget what the purposes of the SAPs and Accentures. Right? They're not media agencies, and they will never be media agencies. They're integrators and system integrators. So they're to promote their own technologies or even independent technology to help you build your own capabilities, right? And then maybe they can add some consulting services on top to help you out with cash. But they're trying to make sure that the control goes into the big, large companies so that they build their own teams and their own capabilities and so on, which is an indirect competition to the Group M's and the Havasnas of this world.
It's also not a bad thing. Like from our perspective, usually the clients that know more about programmatic and understand programmatic better are the clients we can serve best. Because somehow, like often there are also very false expectations about how that magic thing works. And I'd rather have someone who has like 2 programmatic experts in-house, and I'm not afraid that they're gonna not work with us as an agency because we bring a lot of additional stuff on the table. But you actually talk to someone, you build ideas with together, and then usually those campaigns run well.
So that's it, not holding back information, but actually building on top of information that's there, and just executing.
especially in the industry, there's been so much burning of clients, with sales pitches, and not being able to deliver. I have to admit, once in a while I did not too. But still, it's good if you have someone on the other front. So it's
real value.
Yeah.
We always recommend customers, it's like we all know, sort of like the 5K or 10K test. I mean, it's insignificant. I mean, it's like you don't see it. It's like we say you will actually see significant results in about 4 to 5 months. You know, and it's like if they say, can we do that with 5K? We say you can, but not with us. You know,
I think the issue is that a lot of advertisers don't trust agencies anymore, and you can see that in them actually being willing to pay huge money on daily fees or hourly fees with consultants. Would they do that with a current media agency? No. They just pay them based on their spend, and then they reduce the budget for the next year. But they want more service and more support, and that's where agencies need to step up. They need to find new ways to get paid for what they actually do, because just being paid on media spend will not give them any incentive from stepping away from their buying strategies right now. Oh yeah, they do.
They have sort of like they have an internal media buying house, and that is really much. So they've actually found ways to not democratize media.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the audience? Anyone?
Yeah, to Rupert, you mentioned that often we sell the tech stack for customers to do it in-house. Often then they also work with media agencies on top of that. Why is that? Why do you see that they are going back sometimes to media agencies or working on top of media agencies?
Because they, simple answer, it's like they don't have the resources in-house. I think what you said, it's like we also asked how many people are actually doing programmatic. It's a little bit like when you asked a few years ago when you had a social media department, basically said, well, the son of my, my colleague is doing it because he's on Facebook. So it's basically resource issue. And also they're outsourcing the risk, so they own the data, but they're actually outsourcing the risk, and they can also use the buying power of the agencies, etc., in terms of media, but on their own platform. So there's always several advantages. L'Oreal is the case. L'Oreal actually has done it, or is doing it.
I can agree. I think if you look at numbers of people, if we're thinking that already everybody is being hunted by headhunters every time, we don't have the people in the market to sustain programmatic in-house teams with every single advertiser. It's not going to be possible. And you can't have a programmatic team of 2 or 3 people if you're a very large brand. During my time at MediaMap, I've talked to large brands who told me, yeah, we've just in-housed it. And I asked, okay, cool, how many people are you? And they would tell me, well, 2 people that are really fully committed, then we have this person that's actually doing this and that, but he also helps out. That's not going to sustain it. That's not even halfway cutting it. That's not even supporting a simple buying mechanism where you rely on the algorithms of a DSP, no matter how good the DSP is. And I think that's what you said also. That's why we need the agencies, because they have found the knowledge.
Any other questions? Please.
So to the guy from Google, right? So Google announced this universal campaign, and it's the whole future of machines completely taking over a marketeer's job. So I was at a conference, and a lot of people were talking about losing control over being able to run campaigns on Google. So people are questioning, would you have a marketing job going forward? So less so what the agencies do, right? So what are the thoughts on that?
Difficult to answer. I can only answer for the company I'm responsible for. It's like I actually always look for people. And I've noticed, I've observed since I've been in programmatic since 2011, it's like all this debate that's going on in the media, digitalization is going to abolish jobs. It's like for our industry, I don't think that is the case. This is not what I'm observing. And I think I was at a Google event last year as well, where this question came up in a big round. It's like, are we going to be controlled by robots in 5 years? And the answer was actually quite sober. No.
We already are.
You know, so even so I can only say from Dublin also last week, and I can only say it's like I think we also had a sort of like a few slides on HR, and we all came to the same. We were all looking for the same people, and we can't find these people. So I think there's still a demand for the brain behind the machine. I hope that's a politically correct answer.
Even in the Matrix, you needed people to keep the robots alive.
I think AI is a real buzzword right now.
Yeah, but it's delivering, right?
It is, yes, it is delivering, but you still have to watch it. You know? You can't just switch the machine on and then hope that it all goes. So I think you still have to sort of like get the reports out to see whether it's always doing the right thing.
So you need quite sophisticated, data-driven folks who understand AI,
Exactly.
can work with algorithms. And the question is, do agencies have that talent to do that?
They have to look for these people. Some of them have, because it's like they've always had market research. You know, so that's always analyzing data as well. But I think they need to get different people who sit behind 5 screens. Like the desk IMAX. You know.
And I think some of them have potentially good programmatic team members, but they're just not training them yet, or the training measures that they're using are not as effective.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we all learned a lot, and overall to say we're pretty safe for the future. And so please stick around, and we still have some time, so if you want to chat and have a few beers, please do so. And once again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you all for being here.